walking here, it was the opposite of that. I was really scared. But this feels really nice. I'm so happy with that. Thank you for having me. This is a very special place, and yeah, I have 2 poems today. One is dark and the other is cute. Okay. We'll do the dark one first, because then I'll leave you on a happy note. Both of these are experimental. I've never done something like this before in the format and all of that. Also, no one's really heard this out of the first audience. This is brand new stuff. So I don't know if it's good or not, but I hope you have fun with it. So the first one, I'll give you like a small intro. Does my voice sound okay?
Yes.
Alright. There's this beautiful Welsh word that I came across. Like online you have these beautiful words from other languages thing, right? This word called Hiraeth. It's a Welsh word which means a longing or a homesickness for a home that you can never return to, or a home that never was. It's a kind of nostalgia or a kind of yearning for these lost places of your past. I thought it was a pretty word, but then a while back I was in the city where I went to college, and as I walked through these old familiar lanes, almost 10 years later, I really understood the meaning of this word. And this piece that I'm going to perform is my exploration of this emotion. It's kind of particular kind of nostalgia. There are some trigger warnings. I do mention an instance where someone attempts suicide. So if that's just a heads up about that. While I perform this, it would be nice if you could like sort of close your eyes and imagine 2 idiots, 2 idiotic teenagers, in a city living their lives. If you could try to picture it, that would be nice. What is it about cities that keep alive the ghosts of old lovers long after they've been exorcised from flesh and memory? This is where we first held hands. This is where you picked me up and carried me over the cracks in the sidewalks because I was scared I'd fall through them. This is where I kissed you every single time it rained and you lit cigarettes, a ritual of lips and lighters. This is where we walked down crowded roads drinking cheap rum out of bottles hidden in paper bags, thinking that we were smarter than every other person on the road. This is where you unbuttoned my shirt and you saw the light under my skin for the first time. This is the red room in our flat and the red wall with the stains of all the bottles you broke against it, and the knuckle prints of your tidal rage. This is where you ran out of words and stopped talking because what was the point when no one was ever going to understand what you were going through? This is where I found you that morning, sitting in a pool of red because you said you were done. This is where I tried to stuff all that red back into the crack in your veins, but I couldn't. And all I could think about was tubes of toothpaste and how you can never squeeze it back in once it's out of the tube. This is where I packed your bags as the doctors came to get you. This is where I stood and waved and wished I could see you again, but maybe I wished that I would never see you again. This is where we lived. This is where we loved and lost and turned days to gold. This is where we learned to roll joints first, listening to beatnik music and painting murals on rented walls. And when we ran out of wall, we just painted on each other. This is the only place we exist, on those roads, in that flat, in that city, in that moment of time. That moment is gone, and so are we. What is it about cities that they keep alive the ghosts of old lovers long after they've been exorcised from flesh and memory? Um, I promise you the next one is a fun one. When I first moved here to Kochi, my Malayalam was ridiculous. Okay, it's better now, but and I often didn't know the meaning of words. Okay, so when I had certain words thrown at me, because I'm the way I am, I had certain words thrown at me. I realized how horrible they were. And as poets, we love talking about beautiful words, but today I want to talk about some ugly words. Okay? Words have a lot of meaning and power, but we get to reclaim what those meanings are and how much power they have, right? That's what artistic license is all about. So I'm going to do a little bit of an experimental piece based on 3 words that I'm trying to reclaim. The first word is special, because it's an equal opportunity offender. Boy, girl, man, woman, whatever you are, you've heard this word. Koottam. To me, at first, this word sounded like that kind of uttaram. Like when you deliver in a long, well-articulated monologue, preferably standing on a table, to an audience of people who, as soon as you finish, slow clap you into a standing ovation. Because every word you said was clever and sassy and witty and... But that's not it, is it? Tarkutram, apparently, is when you say things that ought to be said, that they don't want to hear, that they terribly fear, like that you're queer or you don't want to be an engineer. When you say things about people that they revere, that WhatsApp forwards are not as true as they appear, about traditions that are unclear, or all the holy things that they hold dear. The next word is Arinyata. I got this one a lot. The first time I heard it, I thought this was a beautiful word, like a happy kind of dance. Like when you walk down the road with a spring in your step, a little prance because your life is filled with romance, or your freelance client paid your cash in advance. Or maybe it means perchance to dance like no one's watching. Oh, but they are watching. Like reality show judges. Except they're not watching your steps, they're watching your missteps. It's Arinyattam if you're out late at night, if your lipstick is too bright, if your love affair comes to light, if you march in a protest for human rights, if you sit down and write or stand up and fight. And now for the third word. Ahankari. I agree that arrogance is not a nice flavor. But have you met me and my generation? My perfume is self-loathing by Chanel, darling. Arrogance to do ki baat hai. We've got so many voices in our heads, second-guessing us and telling us that we're not good enough or pretty enough or smart enough, that we need medication and podcasts and sassy posters just to feel a bit of confidence. So my loud voice and every bold choice is a defense mechanism against all the skepticism, the criticism, the chauvinism, the racism, the sexism, and all the bloody isms that we try to survive. So, to the wicked keepers of words, let me say this. Our Koottam is our love language, our humble offering of logic and free speech. We're being nice. It's how we try to reach you, in situations where we try to teach you to look at the world through our eyes. To the minesweepers of morality, can we please agree that Arinyattam is much better put as life's a treat when you're dancing to your own beat? An oddly liberating, wildly fascinating way to live for your sake, to make your own mistakes, to eat your cake, to be wide awake and free of all the suffocation and frustration and social media altercation. And finally, to the minions of modesty, let me say this. My ahankar is my alankar, my avatar, my bloody battle scar, my warning radar, and my endless reservoir of all the many, many, many ways in which I can tell you to kindly fuck off. So to conclude, to sign off, this is me, an aspiring ahankari, and this has been my epic Koottam, or should I say an arinyatam with words.